Hello all, this is Dr. Boney, a quick video to help you navigate the studying of the exam. Where you have 2 days to take it, October 2nd and 3rd. You can take it anytime during that. It also requires Respondus, which most of you had done the 5-point free Respondus activity to make sure that it works. So a little more information, here you go. You can see that it's timed. You do this in one sitting. You cannot enter, exit, save, return to the exam. You need to stay in it. It knows pretty much everything you're doing, aside from the recording and also all the keystrokes. So this will be 56 questions, and you have 90 minutes to do it. And again, as soon as it starts, it begins. The questions are randomized. So your number one might not look like somebody else's, nor the one I'm going to show you now. So what I'm going to kind of do is show you a couple of the exam questions and kind of give you a general sense of what you're going to see. So I'm going to show you 4 actual questions from the actual exam. I'm not going to give you the answer. That's for you to figure out. But that's a way I can quote unquote curve the exam, because obviously the expectation is you're going to look up the answers to these 4 questions I show you and thus get them right, and therefore curve the exam about 5% or so. And don't forget, you also get 5 points added to the exam for doing the Respondus if you had done it on time. So those should make you feel a little better. I do that only because it's the first time you are taking this exam and you have no idea what to expect. So a couple things. The quiz questions, as you know, are very specific. A lot of the exam questions are very similar to the ones, if not the same, that you took. And some are even more fundamental. So it's not about just memorizing the answers, it's about understanding what the question is asking. So I'm going to go through 4 levels of question. One relatively easy, one a little more difficult, one harder than that, and then one that would be pretty hard. And I can base that on the number of students in the past that would have gotten these questions right and wrong. So let me go ahead and show you one of the questions that you're going to have, which is a relatively easy one. This is one of the questions directly from the exam. It's an easy one for a couple of reasons. The number one easiest reason is that it was on a quiz. You've had it before. And there are a fair amount of questions on the exam that come from the actual quizzes. So that is, I don't think I need to talk any more about it. I'm just showing you that the work on the quizzes will pay off if you can indeed review those. Let me move to one a little more difficult. This one is a little more difficult because you have to do some figuring out. Also, there was one like this on the quiz, but there may be one similar to this. You may not get this exact sequence, so it's more important that you understand exactly how to excuse me, how to manipulate this particular sequence to determine what the mRNA would be. So basically how to transcribe it. So that is, sorry for the cough here. Got a little bit of a cold. So that's level 2. So this question, there'll be a few on this topic. You can see here this is talking about hybridization assays in terms of base pair matching and understanding the optimal design of that. So this again is more you understanding the characteristics of hybridization. I picked this because it's not necessarily a definition. There are a fair amount of questions on this test that are definitions, so that's definitely something you'd want to be sure that you understand. But in this case, it's a little bit higher level, and let's take a look at a 4th one. This question again is having you understand the usage of and the causality basically of different types of DNA damage. There was one on the quiz about xeroderma pigmentosum. So this is really asking you what sort of break would happen from prolonged skin exposure if you didn't wear some sort of sunscreen. So again, that's just one of the possible questions that you could be asked. You may be asked others about other types of DNA damage, so you definitely want to know about DNA damage. So these are 4 questions that just kind of give you a relative idea of the types of questions you're going to see. Again, there are a fair amount of questions that really just in this first exam test your fundamental knowledge of the many, many words and topics that you've been studying. through the PowerPoints, through the lectures, and through the quizzes especially. So you definitely want to pay attention to the quiz questions on this. The last thing I want to say also is that once your grade is posted, as soon as you take the exam, that is not your grade. So again, don't instantly assume something's wrong and email me about why your grade is so low. I need to go over these. I need to add in the 5 points for those of you that completed the respondus, and I need to see if there's any questions that were collectively answered incorrectly to high percentage. If there happens to be a question that has a statistically significant number of wrong answers, depending on where that number falls, many times I'll throw the question out. So I will be sending you an email with your final grades on this exam. And if you have any other questions, let me know.